Good happy Wednesday, everybody. And this week, with the week 9, there's multiple videos coming through with different topics to really share with you, and each one has its own topic and its own sphere of information that really wants to come through. And so we felt called to do these on individual videos instead of one big long one. And so what this is really about is, I don't know how much of you are really tuned in to the shifting in the cosmos and what's happening. And this is beyond astrology. Like, astrology is a beautiful messenger and information that can come through if that's something you're tuned into. I couldn't go down the rabbit hole with you and explain it, but I am tuned into it. More like I feel the shifts happening in my being, and then I look up like what's happening in the stars to maybe get some clarity around that, right? This more expansive viewpoint around my own being. So that's how I navigate with it. But either way, like, there are just some incredible things that are being measured on a science level, on a spiritual level, on all different aspects of however you choose to view life, and your measure of interest around how things are gauged. What I mean by that is there's a huge evolutionary shift happening right now, and it's elevating the frequency of consciousness on the planet. Not just right now, like this year or this phase or this, this 10-year process, like happening right now today, in this month and in this day, in this hour, in this year, like all of it, if you want to put it to a timeline. Either way, there's some powerful things happening. So one of them is we're having solar flares, and those solar flares, like, outside of like attaching it to the understanding of conscious lift or shift or dimensional frequencies or changes on the planet, it's more or less these solar flares are proven, like from a planetary level or scientific level, that these solar flares elevate the human residence of the planet, right? The Earth has a certain frequency that it sends off or gives off that can be measured by scientific tools around the hertz that the planet's giving off, just like they can measure vibration of an instrument or anything else. And so these solar flares, like, are literally like elevating the frequency and changing the human like resonance of what frequency or vibration the planet is giving off. Every time it gets a wave of these solar flares, its frequency elevates, right? And that's been happening since the beginning of time, which is beautiful, and it's something now we can measure and gauge and watch and see and witness and all these fun things. But what's so amazing right now is that the solar flares that are coming on the planet, the amount of solar flares that we're receiving in like 10 months is beyond what they received in 100 years, right? And the frequency of these solar flares are more powerful or more condensed with energy than we've ever seen. And so, they're getting more solar flares in a 10-day time period than they used to get in 10 years. And so it's happening, right? So whether you want to call it from a spiritual place around, like, or changing dimensions, moving to the Christ consciousness and wanting to put some words and understanding to it all, like, either way, on a baseline level, like, there are flares hitting the planet more and more common than we've ever seen since it's been being recorded, and the potency of the solar flares are happening at a much higher frequency than we've ever seen as well. There's many other things happening with alignments we haven't seen for hundreds and hundreds of years in the stars and the planets, to all different things as well, but just want to give you something that is measurable around the solar flares. And so as we shift the human resonance of the planet, and it's now emitting a higher vibration or a higher frequency, the only tool or tools you have to help you like elevate with the planet is going to be your practices. Like, whatever you do, that's why these practices are so coming out of the hobby mindset and coming into like daily life, and not just daily life, but as important as the water you drink. And it's the only way to help your system energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically to stay in alignment with this human resonance that we're getting from other parts of the cosmos, helping the planet evolve. So I just want to bring that reminder forth, and so you really understand why I keep pressing the importance of our sacred practices, right? and whatever it is for you. And just because maybe you want to give yourself 3 hours a day, but can only give yourself 3 minutes a day, still give yourself those 3 minutes. It's vitally important that you do whatever you can do. You don't think about breathing, you just do it. And our sacred practices are about to come into alignment as that important, right? Like, what do you feel like on a day that you don't do your practices? Right? Like, I couldn't even fathom not having an outlet or a place to plug in my day to navigate the day, because there are magical moments. There are people you're going to meet at the grocery store. There's going to be conversations you're going to have on your phone 8 hours from now. There's going to be thoughts and downloads and clarities you're going to receive in 45 minutes that you don't even know that are coming. And your system has to be ready for that, right? And it gets ready and prepared because you've tuned yourself up on a daily basis, sometimes even a bi-dual basis, like twice a day. You're stepping in your practice. So just want to remind everybody that, and the importance of all of it. Okay? All right. Blessings to you. Mahalo.